Welcome everyone. I'm Steven Nonsense, and tonight we're gonna do one of my favorite. It has become one of my favorite things to do, and that is to react to top great lists, top great video game lists from various outlets. And I did an Edge magazine top, I think, in 2023, and that one sucked, if I remember correctly. But whilst I was researching some stuff for my most recent video, which is in the description, I stumbled onto this, which is an archived copy of Edge's top 100 greatest video games from 2015. And look, I'm a retro PC gamer. I'm interested in history of video games, especially. I'm interested in preservation and documentation. This is part of that overall goal. And combined with the fact that I like to read these things and react to them live on stream, it made it a simple sort of equation to put together. So now, just looking back before we begin, 2015, I was still playing what were by then modern games. I hadn't shifted into retro. I've only actually shifted into mostly retro games during the past 5 years or so. So in 2015, I was still pretty much playing new stuff, although even then I was playing mostly indie stuff, because for most of my YouTube career, you can call it, because I started earlier, but I really started like in 2016. I was doing indie game reviews and stuff. So idea is, back then I was current with what was being played, but even then I wasn't mainstream with what was being played, and also have no clue about even less of a clue, I want to say, about console games. So yeah, that's supposed to set things up. I think I suppose it's a great approach to this, and it's kind of starting really bad for me because I don't recognize any of these things. I mean, I know Mario and Link, and of course Master Chief, but everyone else is probably GTA, probably not Snake Plissken. I don't know what the fuck this thing is over here, and this girl is from one of those games that have been popular like there's a couple of games that are popular for a couple of years and then everyone forgets about them. Like, you know, the Werewolf Among Us, this is probably The Last of Us, or Life is Strange, or Daylight, or whatever the fuck some of the other ones were called that no one talks about anymore. Anyway, it's not a good sign for me. Hey Joe, thanks for stopping by. Nice of you too. You're in Canada, so good top of the morning to you. No, that's Irish. Good morning. I think it's really early for you. Okay, let's read the intro because I like the big font. As a person who has recently reached it's 5 p.m. Well, it's earlier. It's 10 p.m. here. Shut up, Joe. I'm ruining my narrative here. As someone who has just dinged level 40, I appreciate the larger font. It's been 8 years since we previously compiled the list of 100 greatest games. Okay, 8 years. So that means there is a 2007? Yeah. So that means there's a 2007 list out there. Okay, gang, I have a mission. We need to track down the 2007 list. Am I streaming from an authentic Scandinavian sauna? No, but I am streaming from an authentic Scandinavian I don't know the English word for it. I know the Romanian word for it. Give me a sec. It's like the upper floor of a house which is made of wood. Back. We don't do it very often. Attic, yes, from an authentic Scandinavian attic. Well, it isn't easy. You try weighing up a game such as Tetris against, say, Half-Life 2. It's easy. Tetris is better. It's a bit like pitting bacon against apple pie. Bacon. They're both delicious, but in very different ways. Nope, Tetris and bacon. You see, it's that simple. After 4 sessions worth of impassioned debate across several weeks, with grudges now put to one side and broken furniture quietly tipped into a skip, we have our list. When you put the very best together like this, it helps to give a perspective on the state of video games as a whole. In terms of themes and styles of presentation, for instance, there's a terrific amount of diversity here. And there is sophistication, we'll see about the diversity. And there is sophistication in characterization and storytelling among even age-old themes, where progress is driven mostly by killing all the bad guys. Or just killing. In compiling this list, we worked to simple criteria. All formats, portable, touchscreen, console, PC, whatever. It's nice how PC is the penultimate before whatever. Were eligible. We could include only a single entry from any series that features straight-up sequels. Oh, apparently older Edge had fucking common sense. I've been saying this on every of these lists. Pick one. I don't care if it's 2D or 3D, or the series has 2D entries and 3D entries. You pick one, that one represents all of them. We're generally adults, we can understand that. Any series that features straight-up sequels, and each game had to stand up today rather than making the cut for reasons of nostalgia or historic significance. That argument is incredibly flawed, but I'll save that for maybe an actual video on it. Which isn't to say that all of the games here are new. In fact, some of the most invigorating parts of the curation process involved pulling out and replaying a few of the dustier specimens from Edge's archives. I'm sorry, isn't this supposed to be top 100 greatest video games? Why mention that some of them are old? It's not top 100 games from 2015, asshats. It's nice to argue with something from the past. They really can defend themselves. It's the perfect internet argument. Hopefully this collection will inspire you in the same way. At the very least, please don't have as many arguments over it as we did. The past decade of internet discourse would say otherwise. Okay, well, I shift through the contents because we don't want to be ultra spoiled. Give me a sec. Let me check what you humans are seeing. Okay, you're seeing. I gotta be honest. I'm patting myself on the back here, but I framed the stuff pretty well. You can see stuff. WarioWare Inc. Minigame Mania. I have no clue. I have a vague idea of who or what Wario is. It's like Bizarro Mario, basically, which, you know, Mario, fine, fun. But I have no idea what this is. Talk about fonts. Let's see. Did they do... Okay, so it's 200 pages. I think they did a full page for each entry, which is crazy. I think it's crazy even for 2015 standards. To read 10 words takes... Oh, fuck you, fuck off. To read 10 words takes most people about 3 seconds, and there were exactly 10 words in the opening sentence. 10 more, yeah, I'm not gonna... You can go fuck yourself, whoever wrote this. Who wrote this one? I don't know. Does it have a... It doesn't have a... Oh yeah, imagine the dedication of wasting my time from the first paragraph. That's a great start. Okay, Spec Ops The Line. Okay, this I remember. Very proficiently. I didn't play it. I don't think I maybe my computer wasn't up to it. I don't think. Yeah, the idea is it wasn't necessarily. It isn't necessarily the type of game I played, but I do remember Spec Ops: The Line being generally both, both critically and publicly sort of appreciated as a much more down to earth sort of urban conflicty approach. So this video, the stream is gonna be super interesting in terms of time capsule, because I have forgotten Spec Ops: The Line existed. So we'll see. I did not enjoy the first one, but I didn't enjoy whoever wrote it, the dickhead. But this could be promising. Okay, Papers, Please. Apparently it was released in 2013. So I have this thing that I don't think a game should be on a list of top games unless it's a top games of that year or of the past 5 years, until it's at least 10 years old. And having Papers, Please here at just 2 years from its release, back then I wouldn't have been cool with it. However, hindsight, looking back at Papers, Please now, it's definitely one of these sort of important titles from the past 2 decades easy. And I think it's important for reasons that don't have anything really to do with the game itself, but it has to do with basically what it signaled. Because up until Papers, Please, game streaming was a thing, but it wasn't a big thing. It wasn't as developed. And I was very much into internet communities and the internet gaming realm and whatnot. And I distinctly remember that when Papers, Please hit, the way in which it sort of got combined with the very the nascent streaming sort of trend of game discourse, it definitely, like, streaming needed Papers, Please to start becoming what it is, what it became later. Basically, it was kind of, at least from my perspective. Again, all of us generally only talk from our perspective. We can also have some objective takes and whatnot, because some of us can step back and analyze, but at the end of the day, everything starts from our own perspective, looking at the things through our own lens. And as far as I'm concerned, that's what Papers, Please represents. The game itself, it's fun and interesting and somewhat dark, very representative of the era of... Keep in mind, this was also when crowdfunding actually kind of bloomed. Well, not bloomed, it was starting to bloom. So it's kind of like a great sort of avatar for a bunch of things that happened at the same time. Hey, Catson, cat with sunglasses. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what's what. But we're pretty good. It's pretty good for now. Drive Club. What the fuck is Drive Club? Oh fuck! I think this is that game that was supposed to be something, but it never actually turned out to be something. I think Unicom was playing this, or wanted to play this, or played this. Cat Sunglasses? No, it's the magazine from 2015. Going through it, I don't know what it is. I don't know. That's why it's a reaction stream. I haven't seen it. Give me a sec. So a committed car enthusiast can see a potential. Yeah, I think because it says about weather system was missing. Yeah, I think this is a game that was supposed to be dope, but it just crashed and burned like a motherfucker because no one has heard of, no one's ever talked about Drive Club. I don't, again, car games not necessarily my thing, though I will, though I have just streamed Carmageddon and have a video on roll cage and cars. But yeah, this is odd. The AI is still a little prescribed, but opponents are far less keen. Wasn't this supposed to be like a like an MMO thingy? People say it's supposed to be the Gran Turismo killer. Oof, I don't think anything can. Only Gran Turismo can kill Gran Turismo. Its own zombie body should come from the future past. Test Drive was the MMO one? Okay, so I'm compounding confusing car games that I've never heard about. But although it says Drive Club gets players online during their first race and feels nothing like the often antagonistic online environments of other races. It may have been a problematic gestation, but Drive Club scrubbed up well after a few months of additional polish. And the free PlayStation Plus version was eventually released, so you can dip a toe and heal in if you need any more convincing that Drive Club's teething look, no one's... The things I was talking about, Papers, Please, do not like the opposite apply for Drive Club. Relegated to the dustbin of what the fuck? Ooh, okay, Braid. This is yet another... we are in 2015, so again, we should be seeing a fair few of the big, like the massive indie hits of around that time and of crowdfunding. Yeah, Braid was really cool, was really dope, and the fact that it came out as part of that, like arguably the first wave of quite polished, let's say, but retro-inspired indie games. It was important. It was really important. And I think I played a little bit of it. It's fun. These types of puzzle games, not necessarily my thing, but game recognized game. Okay, this I have no idea. Super Hexagon. Hexagon is something of a poster child alongside Dark Souls and Spelunky. Oh, for the sadistic brutality, okay, with which some game designers gleefully approach their task. I have no idea what this is. I have never heard of Super Hexagon. Give me a sec. I need to look it up. You can see because I haven't set up my thingy like that. But I need to see what it's about.
Super Hexagon.
No audio for you. Oh, okay. This reminds me of an ancient video game. I don't know what it I think it was one of the original PlayStation games or something. Yeah, so puzzle sort of game. Fair enough, I guess. I have no idea. I got nothing on this one, kids. I got nothing on this one. Although I have to hand it to they really dedicated an entire page for each entry, which is way more than is happening nowadays. What the fuck is this? Her story. Did I black out like at the beginning of the 2010s, in the mid 2010s, and that's why I have no memory of any of these things? Okay. Oh, finally. So this is where the talking about the actual game starts. Nice. They really lived in a very different world back then, when they can write this much shit and none of it is a hook. Because it does precisely that. Oh yeah, wonderful. You decide exactly how much of its tale you're going to imbibe before you make your own mind. Okay, about the settlement. Okay. Seven police interviews from 94 are split up into over 200 separate chunks, and then hidden behind the entry field of the logic database. There's only one rule, one limit to gamify the whole process, which is that you will be served only the first 5 clips to watch your turns. Ah, okay. Okay, the concept sounds fairly interesting, pretty interesting, but I haven't actually heard of this game, to be honest. To be honest, this sounds more like an avant-garde sort of art project I would get into or do. Yeah, I guess, yeah, interesting, but like I don't know, I really have no memory of this. Look, at least it's not the random Nintendo title. Super Monkey Ball. Okay, Super Mario Ball, from what I understand, is a fun party game. Obviously, not something I've played, because I think it's console only. This one says Sega GameCube, yeah. So very unlikely for me to play it. But in general, like from stuff I've read and seen, it seems to be a pretty nice party sort of thing and interesting. Okay, it's not it. I don't think it's necessarily. It's a weird list, but it's not that bad yet. Final Fantasy 12. Which one was this one? I have no idea. Like, Final Fantasy is not. Obviously, it's outside my realm of realms. It's PS2. I remember. Yeah, no, I think the only ones I know are 7. I've actually played a bit of 7. I know of 8. 8 is the one where friendship saved the world or whatever the fuck, the reality. If I'm not mistaken. 9 is the weird chibi one, I'm pretty sure. And then there is 10, which is Tidus. Then there is X2, which is something related to that. So I don't know which one this one is. Ah, shit, my bad. I have no on Final Fantasies. It's yeah, I have no opinion on this. Wait, is this the MMO? while holding onto the potions. Okay. What I'm discovering is that the writing is super slow. As in, it's like nowadays we need to, generally you need to get into you need to hook the viewer or the reader from the first paragraph more or less, and they sure did like to take their time. Fucking 11 years ago. Prince of Persia Sands of Time. Well, now this is something I haven't played, but I know of. I know it is very very appreciated, and it might be something that I have to give a proper look at a certain point, because this is one of the it's possibly the better or the best 3D incarnation of Prince of Persia. I did play the first Prince of Persia 3D, and that was not that's not the same thing. Well, okay, fair enough. I'm not sure if I've seen Prince of Persia Sands of Time on the more recent lists. Maybe one of them. I'm not super sure. Oh, Katamari Damacy. I have no clue. I have sort of seen the title, but I know nothing about it. Okay, so at least this one starts with an explanation. You roll a sticky ball around, picking up objects to make the ball bigger, which in turn allows you to pick even larger. Okay, I think I've seen some footage of this. I know I've seen the references to this thing, but again, not really my type of thing. And if it's not really my type of thing, it tends to not exist as far as I'm concerned. Not to say it's bad or whatnot, it's just that it's not my thing. If it's your thing, more power to you. It's kind of like I have kind of like the same approach with sports games and car racing games and stuff like that. It's fine, not my thing. I don't know if it's a vacuum cleaner. I think it's more of a lint roller, maybe. Sounds more like a cosmic lint roller. Animal Crossing New Leaf. Again, since this was on the 3DS, I've never played it. I have heard this Animal Crossing thingy being in generally very appreciated for various reasons that are kind of beyond the scope of my interest again, because PC people. I've always played stuff on PC, and that's about it. So I haven't had any sort of interaction with most of these things, except through reading about them or watching videos or stuff like that. But I definitely think this might have been in the zeitgeist at the time. Although it's 2012, it shouldn't have been on a 2015 list, but that's neither here nor there. Oh, look, another one I've never heard of. Resogun. It's either Resogun or Rizogun. It's on the PS4, so this doesn't tell me anything about the game. Maybe it's a shooter, maybe it's... Give me a sec. Let's see. Ooh, fantasy violence. Oh, it's okay, it's not that type of shooter, it's a shoot 'em up. You have like it's sort of a 3D 2D scroller shmoop. Okay. Okay, there's definitely a big chunk of the gaming public who likes these things, and you know, again, more power to them. Not necessarily my type of entertainment, but fair enough. More pew pew power to them. Puzzle Bobble from '94. But 4 years after Tetris, Columns, and Breakout first ensnared a generation of obsessive-compulsive tidy-uppers, it was unthinkable that a new line... Oh, okay, I've seen... Yeah, I think I know what this is. I've never played it, but I think I know what this is. Oh yeah, I definitely know what this is. It's not what I thought it was, but yeah, I definitely know what it is. Or definitely I've played some clones of it. Okay, yeah, this is fine. This makes sense to be on a list such as this. Although I'm pretty sure I haven't seen it on more recent lists. But this one, yeah, makes sense. I think at this point the magazine is just throwing random letters and words at me. F-Zero GX. Sure. Seems to be some type of it mentions Wipeout. I know of Wipeout. Maybe yeah, seems to be some sort of a racing game on the GameCube. Okay, I got nothing on it. Ooh, The Sims 3. Yeah, it's an interesting discussion to have about The Sims. Like, I think they reached their sort of maximum whatchamacallit, saturation with Sims 3, but I still think The Sims 2 was more popular, or in the sense that I think The Sims 2 was more popular with more people, if that makes sense. And the reason why I say this is that when I go thrifting for games in Denmark especially, I almost never see Sims 3, but I see, I'm not joking, literal boxes of Sims 2 expansions. Which tells me an important thing. It tells me that The Sims 2, not only that it had a shit ton of expansions, for one, and two, that people bought them, but seeing that many of them tells me that way more people than the usual gaming sort of public got into Sims 2. Like casual players got into Sims 2, because that's why they got rid of their games after, you know, when they grew up or some shit. Thank you for thanks for the compliment, Modeline. I'm gonna assume it's Modeline. So as I was saying, even though I think it did reach much higher points of, you know, revenue and whatnot with Sims 3, I think Sims 2 is the bigger title, just based on that valid, truly anecdotal evidence. But like as I was saying at the beginning, whenever we talk about these things, we start from our perspective, our lens, and generally that's where most of us stop. I have to wet my whistle because talking for long periods of time, you'll hear my voice start going lower and lower as we get through these sons of bitches. But a Sims game definitely has to be on any list. I would go with Sims 2, but at least on this list they said they're gonna just do one game per series, so at least that. R-Type final. Okay, I know that R-Type is it's another shmoop. Okay, I've heard of this game. I know people like the R-Types and the whatnot. Again, not necessarily my thing, but sure. The closest, the only sort of reference I have for this is arcade games, and I have a video on that. And I generally just think about Aero Fighters too. So. Elite Dangerous. Now, this is a very PC-centric title, and I think Unicom still plays this, or maybe, I don't know. It was released in 2014. Oh, it's been a while. And I'm pretty sure people still play it, and it's still crazy and dope. Granted, for a very narrow sort of gaming public. It was released in 2014. The top is from 2015. Again, I wouldn't have placed it, and I don't think it's that. I think I've from what I understand, it's a great game, but I don't know if it's great in the list of greatest games ever. But still, nice to see. It's pretty cool to see. Ooh, Bomberman. This just depends on, like, when I say for instance, they show this sort of version of Bomberman, but I played the basically any type of Bomberman game that you have played and enjoyed. I would place it into this one, and yeah. It's fun. It's great. It's one of those very simple type of games that are just fun. Sometimes you just want to play a game and have fun. Not everything has to be a deep philosophical discussion about the duality of man. Sometimes you just want to put some bombs out to explode, I don't know, ghosts, balloons, or whatever the fuck. Sometimes you need to keep it simple. StarCraft 2. Okay. Okay. 2010, and the top is from 2015. This is a hard discussion to have. Because, look, I love StarCraft. And I kind of liked StarCraft 2. I spent quite a bit of time playing it with a friend on ladder and whatnot. And I played ladder as well. I was never good. And in as far as the single player experience of the game goes, pretty dope, I gotta say. I never actually played the entire thing, but the way in which the single player experience goes is pretty dope. But you see, that's just one facet of StarCraft. The other facet of StarCraft is multiplayer. And even in multiplayer, we're talking, it has branching sort of storylines from multiplayer, because there is LAN multiplayer and then there's online multiplayer. And when it comes to online multiplayer, there is playing ladder, and then there's the South Korean championships. And the South Korean championships are just mind-blowingly insane. but therefore StarCraft 1. There used to be, I think there still is an equivalent. I think it was called GSL. I think it still is for StarCraft 2. But even now, in 2016, Jesus, in 2026, I just time traveled myself there. 2016. Anyway, even now in 2026, the original StarCraft is still the most interesting sort of esports as far as I'm concerned. There's still tactics. Tactics are still being developed in 2026. Things like weird glitches are still being sort of discovered even up until a couple of years ago. So I don't know, they probably went with StarCraft 2 just because it was the newer one, and again at the time it was pretty cool, and it is cool. It translated well to a 3D game, but it really doesn't, it's really not. The first one is a weird lightning in a bottle sort of thing that just developed a life of its own, and it's truly amazing. The reason I haven't covered the original StarCraft and I only spend time to rant about it during these things is because I know myself, and if I know that if I install it, then that's what my life will become. It's just gonna be me playing StarCraft, sucking at it, but never really not playing. So that's why I have avoided and I still avoid covering StarCraft, making a video about StarCraft, because I'd have to install it to capture gameplay footage, and it's just that this much that's needed for me to start playing on ladder, and that's when the channel disappears and I start to stop shaving and bathing and etc. So it's a self-preservation reason for why I haven't covered the StarCraft, even if I have a pretty good idea, I have a pretty cool concept on how to cover it. Maybe I'll become maybe I'll be a stronger person in the future and will be able to do it without getting lost in the ladder insanity. Because not for nothing, but my reflexes definitely aren't what they used to be. Okay, Pac-Man Championship Edition. Again, I don't know exactly what Championship Edition refers to, but I have played a lot of Miss Pac-Man in my life. And when I say that, I mean I played the Spectrum ZX version and thoroughly enjoyed it. Like Pac-Man, again, simplicity. Sometimes if you have a simple recipe and you get it right, it's really awesome. And I make the same argument when I talk about Dorf Romantic, which is a much more recent game. Dorf Romantic has a very simple formula, which it has executed really well. And I hope Dorf Romantic is gonna get rediscovered by other players, by younger players. It's been out for a while by now. Give me a sec. Yeah, Dorf Romantic was released in 2022, and I've been playing it since before that, early access and the demo. So I still think it's one of my personal modern classics, to say the least. But yeah, Pac-Man, any Pac-Man, yeah, chomp, chomp, chomp. BioShock. Whoa, haven't heard. Well, actually, no, I have heard people talk. Some talk about BioShock. Do not. I think people talk much more about the whatever the third one was in Infinity. I'm not sure. I haven't played this yet. I've only played the original one, and the original one is pretty nice in general. World building is dope. It's pretty good until towards the end, to be honest, where it kind of falls up. The story falls apart, because again, that's the sort of issue with these types of games, and it's an issue I have even with the Batman games, Arkham City and Asylum. The game itself is crazy dope. BioShock is crazy dope. The world is interesting. The mechanics are pretty well polished and whatnot. But there's very little you can do for boss fights that isn't, repetitive. And kind of like the same thing happened when I played Doom 3 recently. You can do some, you need to be jumping on some platforms maybe. Timing attacks basically. There's not a lot you can do with those boss events, which makes me think I would just skip them. I just not have boss events anymore, boss fights. To me, they are generally, underwhelming. So, but otherwise, BioShock really dope, really cool. I remember playing it at release. Back then, I actually had a computer capable of running it, and yeah, it was pretty damn cool. It was pretty damn great. Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. 2007. So this, I guess, I haven't kept up with these games. I guess this is the first Modern Warfare, because it's Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. Because I think after that there was like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 or whatever the fuck. I don't know. I think I actually played this one. If this is the one with the nuclear detonation, I played this one. I played the single player, obviously. But other than that, I don't know. There was one Call of Duty I remember playing with a good friend of mine on a console, actually. Maybe it was this one. And yeah, it was split screen or whatnot. That's kind of fun. But you know me in these games. It's not a me thing. Puzzle and Dragons. And this is something I haven't heard of. Oh, because it's Android and iOS. Okay, so it's mobile, I guess. Wait, what the fuck is this? 2.5 multiplier to fire when paired with me. Okay, it was until recently the most popular smartphone game in Japan. It features all the hooks of free-to-play as it works dual currencies, stamina timers, and so on, and layers over the top of it, all an infinitely miserly RNG loop system. Oh, okay, so is it a gacha game? Yeah, maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but that sounds horrible for someone like me who plays things on computers, though these images look kind of cool. Maybe there's a PC version. maybe there isn't. Is it just a match 3 game? Oh, it's a match 3 puzzle game. Okay, fair enough. I mean, I did play a Magic the Gathering themed one, and I kind of had fun with that, but I wouldn't give that thing money either. So, you know, Tearaway. This looks, yeah, paper crafty, which makes sense. Format Vita. Well, now, isn't that a word I haven't heard in ages? There is no way for me to know what this is. Yeah, if anyone watching this in VOD knows about this, are more than welcome to give us a quick rundown of what it was or is in the comments. Being for Vita, I fear its life was very short indeed. Oh my god. League of Legends. Hey Dryant or Driant. It's a bit more than a few years ago. Look, in 2015, League of Legends was barely 6 years old, so it was still relatively new, let's say. For the record, I've never played it. Never had any interest in playing it. I have played Dota 2. I've played Dota 2 for about 100 hours. And to this day, I think those are the only 100 hours of gaming I have ever regretted actually spending gaming. I do not enjoy these types of MOBAs. On the other hand, I've played several hundreds of PUBG and Apex Legends, which I did enjoy. So I don't know what to tell you. People are complex is what I'm saying, I guess. Super Meat Boy, again, part of those of that first sort of wave of very super weirdly popular indie games. Never played it. I understand people loved it and it was very influential and important. Fair enough. And again, I don't think I've seen it in recent on recent lists. Ooh, Xenoblade Chronicles. Now, this is something I have no clue about. Seems to be on the Wii. Again, if it's on consoles, I've maybe heard about it, but I've definitely almost never played it. I think the amount of games I've played on console, I think there's maybe 10. I think I've played 10 games on consoles. Maybe a few more. We can go through them if you want. Although I don't even think I've played the entire games. I've played demos, which I liked. I've played Beast Wars. I've played Lucky Luke, Tekken 3, Medieval. What else? Guitar Hero, that's 5. 3. One of those COD games, 6. Have I played anything else on console? So maybe it's under 10 games that I've played on console. I got nothing. I don't know what to tell you. If you like it, good for you. Titanfall. Wow. Wow, is this see, this is what happens. This is what happens when recency bias exists in your list of greatest games. I don't know if I need to continue. It's fucking Titanfall. Outrun 2006, Coast to Coast. Wait a minute. So first of all, they made a modern Outrun. Okay. Again, me and car games, it makes sense for me to not be aware of it. But placing it on 71, and also it's like already the second car game. Were there lots of car games around that time? I remember that there was a series like Burnout something called, which was, I remember it was cool because you could just do slow-mo when you exploded nice, which is fine, you know, when you're a teenager or in your early 20s. But yeah, I don't know. Look, I get it. People who like driving cars in games and whatnot, or even in real life, whatever. I just got nothing on it, man. I never knew this existed. I know this existed though. Left 4 Dead 2. What was released in 2009? Okay. Unfortunately, it's dead for dead, more or less. I guess people still play it. I'm really not sure. I did play the original one, the first one, I mean, a fair bit. I don't know how much or if I've played this one. It was fun though. It is fun, but it was way cooler with people you know, so that you could talk to them and whatnot. With randos, oof. Counter-Strike Global Offensive, again, not my thing, but a lot of people's thing, so it's fair enough. You kind of need at least one Counter-Strike game on this type of a list. And again, going by my sort of rules, you have one and it represents any of them. Like, so even if you don't like Global Offensive and if you like 1.6, this kind of represents all of them, and it makes sense. It's a massively popular thing. Civilization 4. Oh, and it was released in 2005. I'm trying to remember if I actually played 4. I know I played a shit ton of 5. I don't think I played 4 that much. But wait, let me check the release. Because let me check some timings here. So Civilization 4 was 2005. Yeah, Civilization 5 was out. It was released in 2010. That's why it's weird. And this list is from 2015. So why did they go with the prior entry? Okay, I mean, it's not like it was too new. It was already 5 years old. So I don't know why they went with this one. But again, if it represents the entire series, you definitely need the Civilization title on any type of list of this sort. Again, from my perspective, you need it for its historical relevance, although at the beginning they say that doesn't matter, which that's why I said that that particular thinking process is flawed. Res. Okay, so Res has been consistently showing up in most of these lists, including the more recent ones. Again, I have never, I hadn't heard of it until I basically heard of it doing the list. It's, yeah, and the reason I haven't previously heard of it is because it's console only. But yeah, I understood that it was very appreciated and it's a really cool game. So yeah, and it's one of the few, let's say, other weirder titles that still shows up in lists in the 2020s. So there's something to be said about that, definitely. Battlefield 4, another pew pew game that I haven't played. Whatever. People like it, people don't like it. I don't. I literally do not care. Metroid Prime. I've heard a lot of things about it, because again, console only, haven't played it. But I think there is one of these that's on PC. I'm not sure. But yeah, a very important series, the Metroid series. Again, I haven't played any of them for console reasons. But yeah, fair enough, sure. Holy shit, they have Hearthstone? My guys. Like, I'm seeing a weird pattern. Well, it's not weird. It's an ass-kissing pattern. You have StarCraft 2, and now you have Hearthstone, which was released a year earlier than this list. Now, as to be said, during the first year or so of Hearthstone, maybe even more, or about a year or two, it was quite, it was very much on, at its peak of sort of generalized interest. I played it a fair bit at the beginning as well, because I'm a very lapsed Magic the Gathering player slash collector, you could say. And I enjoyed the very quick sort of approach of the Hearthstone games and whatnot. But you ain't gonna see Hearthstone on any current lists, let me tell you that. Castlevania Symphony of the Night, again, never played it, but I know of it just through internet osmosis, and looking at things, watching things that I don't know about, because that's why I make videos about PC gaming and retro PC gaming, especially in the hope that people who haven't had these sort of experiences and this sort of information can sort of get it through my videos. Me thinking that, because that's what I do. Like, I've never played these console games, and honestly, I don't really have an interest in playing them, but I do want to know about them. I do want, because they are part of the overall domain of gaming, which I'm interested in knowing more about. So I know of Symphony of the Night thanks to the internet, to the YouTubes, basically, videos and whatnot. And also, from what I understand from people that were around back then, this is one of those titles that sort of got retroactively reanalyzed and appreciated. Now, from what I understand, at release it was fine, but only much later, and quite possibly thanks to YouTube, it became it got reassessed, and that's something interesting, because that shows that is one type of argument one can have for those relatively still few but still existing people out there who don't really consider video games art, or a medium through which you can express more, because reassessing things after periods of time is something that has happened with music, books, films, and video games. So by the sheer fact that video games sort of function under the same sort of rules as those other things, is an argument to place them next to them as art, as well as entertainment and whatnot. Limbo, yes, from back then. Again, another one of those massive indie titles that again happened to be a puzzle. It was a thing. I guess it was a thing. Yeah, I guess it was a thing, because Trine was a series that also started back then as well. There was a bunch of them. I remember one. There was one with like chemical like molecules and stuff. I forget what it was called. It was chem something. Anyway, puzzle game. Towerfall Ascension. It says PC. I've never heard of this. Let me see. Does anything look familiar? No. Towerfall Ascension. Let me see some gameplay. Oh, okay. It's very pixel arty. It's cute movements. You jump around. Okay. Okay, I kind of get what's going on. I don't think I've seen it on more recent lists, to be honest. Earthbound. Well, this is interesting. I think I actually saw this. I think maybe it is on some lists. Again, I've only heard about this, from the internet, but I actually did play a little bit of it because I remember I installed it on an Android emulator. But this was in 2013 or 14, actually, like close to when this list was made. I think the game itself is pretty cool, but I think it's also it's a combination of it being like off kilter a bit. It's just odd in how it does what it does, because there's not a lot of different things that it from other JRPG type games, but its setting and the types of enemies and stuff, that's what kind of makes it an interesting sort of entry in general in like gaming history, especially because it was maybe one of the first really odd types of experiences for most gamers since it was on the SNES. Batman Arkham Knight. I've only played Arkham Asylum and Arkham City. I got videos on those. I haven't played Arkham Knight. Again, I think this was here just because it was recent. Again, it was released in 2015. This has nothing. It can't be on the list of the greatest games. Even if it is a great game, at least according to me, it can't be on any of these lists unless it is at least 10 years old. After 10 years, if a game has staying power, that's when you can start discussing it. That's when you can start the discussion of it being one of the great games. At least 10 years. And that's when you start. At 15 years, you can kind of continue the discussion if it's still being around. And if it's still around after 20 years, then yeah, definitely it's a great game. Transistor. Again, I don't think Transistor is, from what I understand, is a cool game, but it was barely released in 2014. And from the Supergiant games, I think that's the developer. Do they mention it? I think it is. I think it's Supergiant. Yes. Now, from their oeuvre, let's say, I don't know if Transistor is the most representative. It's not like I've played all of them. I did play Bastion, and I absolutely loved Bastion, but not for the reasons one may think I loved Bastion. I have a video for it. It's a really old video. The thing that still stays with me from Bastion is its soundtrack. Listening to at least one or two of those songs will, even to this day, produce some amount of goosebumps / teary eyes from me. So that's why Bastion is so dope for me as far as I'm concerned. I don't know if Transistor is the one to go from Supergiant games, but maybe it is. Maybe if I play it, I would consider it as well. Puyo Puyo, no idea, but I have had this suggested to me from a very good friend who is he's a bit older than I am, but much more into console games. And he said that if I ever sort of get a chance to either play it or get it or whatnot, Puyo Puyo is something that I should play. And I'm like, okay, I'll keep that in mind. So just based on his suggestion, I'm gonna go with like, cool, fine, for it being on the list I'm in. Like I was saying, I need to take the occasional drink break. Ooh, FTL. Now, this is... I am surprised. I am surprised. First of all, released in 2014, shouldn't have been on the list. However, looking back at it, it's definitely one of the great games, as far as I'm concerned. I have a video on it. And it's like it's a weird sort of discussion. because FTL is really cool for a lot of reasons, but the main problem one has with it, or I have with it, is the absolutely what the fuckery of the RNG. Because you can have a really great game, and then like the last sector can just absolutely destroy you because of the RNG. Now, the subset games, their follow-up game, Into the Breach, while it still has RNG, it's not the same type of RNG, because you make way more decisions whose results you know. So you have way more control over what happens Into the Breach than you do in FTL. So it's a weird sort of comparison to make. As far as I'm concerned, I prefer Into the Breach because of that more deterministic approach. But it's hard to argue against FTL being on the list because it is so fucking cool. I would place between them. I would choose Into the Breach. Like there's no argument as far as I'm concerned. But you know, I can see arguments being made for FTL. Although I guess Into the Breach wasn't released back then. Give me a sec. Yeah, Into the Breach was released in 2018. So as far as the writers at this time were concerned, FTL was just released and it was fresh and it was dope. And I remember playing it when it was released and it was really crazy dope. So I can see why they placed it here. Again, I wouldn't have, because it's a new game by then. But again, with the benefit of hindsight, it's an interesting sort of analysis discussion to have. At least I find it interesting. Persona 4 Golden. I haven't played any of the Persona games. From what I've heard, the Persona 5 is pretty cool, or it's a good representative of the series, but I don't know if it was out then. It wasn't. Persona 5 would get released in 2016. So probably that's why this is 4. Like I know the series is in general popular, so maybe it has to be on this list, but since I haven't played any of them, I really can't say. Mass Effect 2. This is an interesting discussion I've had with some friends of mine, because look, I'm into RPGs, I'm into tactical combat, I am into sci-fi shit, obviously, but I was never interested in any of the Mass Effect games, even if everyone around me was actually playing them. At a certain point it became like, I'm not gonna conform. And then the ultra fiasco of the endings of Mass Effect 3 happened, and I was like, you know what, I'm kind of glad. I'm glad I didn't invest my time in this bullshit. But people love this series, and they like, there's that discussion to be had of just because something is popular doesn't necessarily make it good. This may not be that case. This may also be a good series, sans ending. But yeah, it was not something I was ever interested in, nor am I interested in it now. But look, if you still go back to your Mass Effect 2 and just replay various varieties and alternative sort of squad makeups and makeups. I guess. And decisions, look, more power to you. Enjoy what you enjoy. And this is a discussion I sometimes have in the comments, because people sometimes comment things that make no sense to me, in the sense that they like, I make a deep dive into a video game and they're like, I don't like this game because of X, Y, and Z. And the X, Y, and Z they mention are the same reasons why me and everyone else loves the games. And it's also, to me, those comments feel like they need a reason to know why they don't like the game, and they would like for that reason to come from me or someone else from the outside. And my argument is that the outside, the environment, the surrounding environment doesn't owe you any sort of explanation as to why you like or don't like something. You are totally allowed to like or don't like something just because you like or don't like something. You don't need reasons for that. You can just say, I don't like this, and go on with your life. But you can say, oh, I like this, I would like some more, and you go on with your life. Don't necessarily need to find reasons for why you don't like something or why you like something. I can't explain why I don't like car games or sports games. I just don't. And I don't care about understanding exactly why, because it's not relevant. I just don't. Whether or not there is a reason for that, and me knowing it isn't going to change the fact that I don't like them. You understand? Okami, heard a lot about this game. Magic big wolf dog, spirit big wolf dog. Obviously haven't played it because it was on console. I think it's on PC now. I think I even have it on, I think I have it. Do I have it? Is it? Give me a sec, let me check. I'm not sure, but I think I do. No, I don't. Yeah, it is on. It's on Steam. So I think there is a PC version of it. But again, it's one of those titles that I've heard and read about and understand it's very appreciated, and I see why it is on this list. The Stanley Parable. Again, you would think I played this. I've never played this. And again, this one has also been suggested to me. And maybe it would be interesting, but again, if something doesn't tickle my fancy in the right sort of way, it just doesn't interest me. It really doesn't. And it's not, again, repeat, it's not something against the game itself or the piece of art, let's say. Sometimes you just know that something's not for you and you just continue with your life. I don't have to reason why. It's just I don't like. Ooh, XCOM Enemy Unknown. Oh, well, here's something that I actually played a shit ton of. Yeah, back then I think it was still kind of recent for it to be on the list, but it was pretty cool. I gotta hand it to it. But when did XCOM 2 come out? 2016, yeah. So it will be at least another year until the next one will come out. It was pretty cool. The XCOM Enemy Unknown was pretty cool. I remember playing it on normal, I think it was normal, on difficult, and I think there was another difficulty that I was playing it on, or maybe I was doing Iron Man at a certain point. I played it. I liked. I quite enjoyed it. Yeah. When it comes to the greatest games, I would still put the original on the list just because I've played the original and I learned how to play the original without a manual, or without anyone else telling me, just trial and error. It took me months. But yeah, look, if there's an XCOM, it's fine. Monster Hunter for Ultimate, I hope 3DS. I hope we don't have to. I don't have to. I think we can just pass. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Oh my god! And it was released in 2015 and it's on the list. Look, I understand people love this game, and also that a lot of people actually started playing the Witcher series from this game. I am the exact opposite. I stopped playing the Witcher series by the time this game came out. Again, because I just lost interest. I played the first one at release and I loved it. At release, when the spoilers, the giant spider boss had a glitch bug. Ironically enough, that would basically lock the game until a patch came out. But I got sort of lucky and the glitch allowed me to get past it and actually continue the game without the patch. So I played the first one and I really liked the first one. And then I played the second one and I was kind of okay with the second one. And by the time the third one showed up, I had completely lost interest in it. And I have no sort of regret about it. I'm like, meh. So I'd much rather replay the first one, to be honest. But if you enjoy it, go for it. Like, I don't. It's not for me. Ooh, a Far Cry entry again from 2014. Far Cry is one of these series that I've never touched for reasons that it is what the game is. But despite what I consider to be its basic bitchness, people dig it. So probably it's not that basic of a bitch of a game, because it's been going on for a long ass time. So maybe I should give the first one a try. Maybe the first two. Keep in mind I don't play games older than 2010, so maybe. Little Big Planet 3. I had no idea they made at least 3 of these games. But I do remember the first one being very big sort of release because it did things with physics and stuff like that. Yeah, again, since it was a PS thing, I have no idea. But people loved it and people love it and fine. Trials Fusion. It says you could pick up any Trials game and have a great time. I wasn't even aware there is more than one Trials game magazine. Okay, so I guess it's a dirt bike race game? Question mark? Again, just like car games, it's not for me. Nidhogg or Nidhogg? I love the pixel artiness already. I've never heard of this. Also released in 2014. 2 swordsmen stand motionless upon the field of battle. A field soaked with the pixelated blood of their conflict. Okay, so it's a 1v1 sort of game. Okay, seems to be a moderately complex fencing, I guess, game, because it says you have different guards, low, medium, high, and overhead, and different types of thrusts. I gotta say, I've never heard of this. I've never seen this ever. It's not something I would want to play either, despite my fondness for sword fighting. Also, it was released in 2014, so I wouldn't play it anyway. But look, there is something to be said about going back and reading these much older magazines, because you just find out about stuff you either forgot or never knew, like Nidhogg or Nidhogg, whatever the fuck. Okay. Fez again, part of the first indie wave of things. Yeah, I mean, I haven't played it, but I've seen it was released in 2012, so I had seen, you know, coverage of it before and after, and there were documentaries about it. So yeah, I don't know if Fez still makes it on lists though. Rez does. I don't know if Fez does. Oh, we survived from number 100 up to 43 without the Mario title. Oh, that's surprising. Super Mario 3D World. I don't. Next. Journey, I have heard and seen a lot about. Again, being on console, not something I played, but I do understand it's a very different type of experience. It's a very visual and audio sort of experience that I may actually enjoy, because I've seen some footage of it and it looked quite interesting. And yeah, maybe in the meanwhile, I think some others, you know, not similar games, but similar in the sense of theme and vibe, like pensiveness, types of, like that Firewatch game, I think is maybe somewhat in the same, you know, mental experience type of frame, although different, of course. Fire Emblem Awakening. Okay, I don't know what the fuck these things are. 3DS. I think Fire Emblem is again a turn-based tactical game, which I probably would like. But yeah, no. If it's not on PC, I think maybe there are some now. But if it's not on PC from up to 2010, I'm not gonna play it. Dead Space. Well, now, interesting choice. Dead Space is a pretty good title to have on the list, to be honest. I think maybe most people prefer the second one because it's more actiony. I haven't played the second one, but I played only the first one. But the first one does do horror tropes really well, because when you play it, it's very close to something like The Thing. You know, in my mind at least, the association with The Thing makes several amounts of sense from several points. Yeah, there is the sci-fi aspect, there's the enemy aspect, because they look like these weird fucking things. and the solitude aspect as well, and also what the fuckery is going on aspect. It's nowhere near as good of a thriller, a sci-fi horror thriller that The Thing is, the movie. I don't know about the game. I haven't played the game. I would like to do a game movie comparison thing, but we'll see about that in the future. But otherwise, Dead Space, it is a cool game. It was a pretty cool game. Cut off their limbs. That's what one stays with from Dead Space. Alas, the series went, from what I understand, more and more actiony because, you know, it has to sell more fucking stockholders and whatnot. But otherwise, yeah, the first one is still there. I think it got a remaster or some shit at a certain point. Do I have any other interesting thoughts? Oh, there's an animation, by the way, which I reviewed. It's one of the few movie things I still have on my channel from way back when I used to do movies. It's called Dead Space Downfall, I want to say. And it's a prequel. Which that right there, you're like, can have a different discussion about prequels. But yeah, if you want more old Dead Space, look up Dead Space Downfall animation. Oh, remember earlier when I said that the only time I've only really regretted playing video games is the 100 hours I put into Dota 2? Well, now. Vanquish. What is Vanquish? It's a 360 and PS3. Wow. The article starts with the official strategy guide for Vanquish is one of the best we've ever seen. Wow, that's great to hear about a video game. Okay, it says it's inspired by the cult anime Casshern. Vanquish was the right game at the wrong time. A third-person shooter arriving just as the genre was beginning to reach saturation point. Okay. I don't know. I again, being a console title, it makes sense why I haven't heard of it. Also, with a name like Vanquish, it's unfortunately kind of generic that it would inevitably get lost. Maybe it would if they called it Casshern or something weirder. Maybe it would have helped it stand out in the sea of third-person shooters. But you know, I don't know. If you've played Vanquish, let me know in the comments. Shit. Super Mario Maker. Okay, so the closer we're getting apparently to the top ones, we're getting more Nintendo ball tickling. Yeah, I don't know what this is. We're just gonna pass. Shadow of the Colossus. Again, I've never played the game, but I have literally only heard good things about it from very different people. So just based on that, again, anecdotal, but sometimes anecdotal is pretty good guideline. Anecdotal, but it means it's fucking good. Halo 3. Obviously I haven't played it because it's on console. I played the first one. It was fun, but it did not really shake my world, let's say. It didn't make me want to play the second one or play other first-person games. Again, just not for me, man. It's just not for me. If it's not for me, it's not for me. Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. I think this is the first Zelda we have, so I'd be surprised if it's the only one. Again, I haven't played any of these things, although I have from what I understand, Majora's Mask is one of the arguably weirder ones, which is saying something for Japanese series. But this one is something I've heard a lot about, and I've seen videos, and it sounds interesting, like weird time loop or not, or whatever the fuck. Sure. Spelunky HD. Spelunky still shows up, I want to say, in more recent lists. I've never played it, but it is pretty cool. I think I've recently, the past couple of years, I've played the Crystal Caves, and I really enjoy Crystal Caves. So I'd probably enjoy the Spelunky as well. But unfortunately, it was released in 2012, so I can't play it. Let's take a tiny break from. We're at 33. I should have taken a break a bit earlier. How about you, motherfucker? Say something, because I've been talking for an hour and a half, more than an hour and a half. I need to give myself, give my vocal cords just a little bit of a rest. So share your thoughts in the comments whilst I have a drink. And back. I also went for a bio break if I was taking a mild vocal cord break. Okay, let's see. Oh, that thing was from Destiny, apparently. Okay, that thing from the front page. Yeah, Destiny again, not something I played because it's only console exclusive. But I did follow it sort of, not development, but post development. And it seemed there for a while that it would be like the next big thing, the next big online sort of MMO thing. But then it just didn't. And I don't think it's clear exactly why. Maybe, you know, maybe endgame wasn't good enough, or maybe balancing was off or whatnot. But yeah, it was... It was one of those almost famous things. Oh shit. So apparently they didn't keep to it, and there's another Zelda in the top. They didn't keep to one entry per series, although who knows how the fuck they're calling it. Link to the Past. Again, I haven't played any of them. I know people love them a lot, and that's fair enough. Kerbal Space Program. Nice. Surprised to see this here. Also, it was released in 2015, shouldn't be here or whatever. I don't think I've seen Kerbal on any other modern list, to be honest. I haven't played it, but Unicom has. And he generally has good words for it. And I trust a lot of what he says about this stuff. Jin, again, like Destiny was pretty big at the time, but it just didn't have that je ne sais quoi required to still be a thing to make it, basically. Dishonored. Wow, this is surprising. Is it surprising? I think I've had a Dishonored in one of the more recent lists, tops. I haven't played any of them. I know they're pretty cool, and I think I would like them. But at the time, I wasn't in that sort of mind space, and unfortunately, being released in 2012, I can't play it now. I can, of course, but I don't play things older than 2010 for my own and channel purposes, of course. But I think Dishonored and Dishonored 2 maybe are still the last kind of stealthy type games that actually reached a particular level of market penetration, let's call it. Splatoon. Hee. I've heard about this. It's on the Wii. It was on the Wii U, released in 2015. I shouldn't be here. But I've heard a lot of Splatoon references. I've read a lot of Splatoon references in the meanwhile. So I don't know what to tell you. Maybe it was really big. I haven't really seen it mentioned in the past 5 years or so, I want to say. So maybe it wasn't. Maybe it didn't have the staying power to be on the greatest games of all time, or just greatest video games. It's not all time. That's right. See, another fucking Zelda. Jesus Christ. Next, Rock Band 3. The concept of Rock Band, rebel offspring of Guitar Hero. Yeah, one of them, like either Rock Band or Guitar Hero. The thing is, 2010. The thing is, like, rhythm games, and this is what we used to call these games. Rhythm games were so big for about for under 10 years, for less than a decade, basically. From starting with the first Guitar Hero, although I think there were some things before that, but Guitar Hero really exploded, really actually created the market, the genre definition, let's say, in the market. Because then, so it was Guitar Hero, and we had Rock Band, and if you remember, there was also a DJ version with, like, you had a record player thingy. What was that called? I don't know, but I remember there being something with the DJ. So of course companies drove it into the ground real fast. For a while there, the great party sort of games. I remember playing, I think maybe it was a Rock Band with some friends in our early 20s, I want to say, and yeah, it was fun. Yeah, both Guitar Hero and Rock Band had the plastic guitars, and well, actually Rock Band had, if you splurged, I think Guitar Hero as well, you could get like drums and a bunch of other stuff. Rhythm games, they were called. So yeah. But yeah, again, it's one of those subgenres that just came and went, and like right now almost no one really talks about it. But I guarantee if you pull out the plastic guitars and shit at you know, in the right sort of friend group, you're gonna have a kick-ass evening/night on your hands. Could we have a list without Skyrim? Of course not. Although granted, back then this was just barely 4 years old. We hadn't had the 20 re-releases by then. It was still Skyrim. To my eternal CRPG shame, Skyrim is actually the only Elder Scrolls game I've actually played, and that says more about me than the games themselves, because I have had friends who played both Morrowind and Daggerfall, and they were suggesting the games to me because they knew what I was playing. But for one reason or another, whenever those suggestions happened, I just wasn't in the mood, or I wasn't in that kind of headspace at those particular times to engage with something like a Morrowind or a Daggerfall. When Skyrim released, I was like, okay, looks cool, looks interesting, I'm gonna give this a try. And I played it for I think I played it for like 4 months, and then I just stopped playing it for a while, and then I had no internal incentive or impulse to play it again. And that's when I know that the game's just not for me. And again, this is just how I work, but if I'm not thinking about what I'm gonna do in the game next, then it's not for me. There's no reason for me to spend more time with it, because I'm not gonna get anything out of it that I would want, really. So I haven't finished Skyrim or anything. I played it a bit, like a few months. But yeah, after I took that break for whatever reason, I wasn't actually thinking like, ooh, I'm looking forward to getting back into Skyrim. Nothing of the sort. And if I don't have that thought, then it's not gonna happen. Boom. Drop 7. What the fuck is this? Oh, it apparently it's the most successful falling block puzzle game. Or not. It talks about Tetris and Puyo Puyo, which we've talked about earlier. This list has name dropped Tetris at least 3 times. If it's not in the top 10, everyone involved are pieces of shit. I don't know them directly or anything. They suck. Maybe they're not pieces of shit, but they suck. They're disingenuous people who cover games. Trying to think if I've seen this, but it's unlikely. Although it is on Android, so I may have seen it. Friction-free on-ramp to Drop 7 appears to use the same visual language as... The game revolves around a 7x7 grid into which discs numbered 1 to 7 fall. Ooh. Groundbreaking. Any disc whose fascia numeral matches the total disc in its corresponding row or column will disappear. So it's Tetris Sudoku. Should have just called it Tetris Sudoku. Okay. Well, I haven't heard of it, but it sounds like the type of thing that I would kind of like, to be honest. Again, me and Tetris. Just so you understand where I stand with Tetris. As far as I'm concerned, Tetris is the greatest video game in history. And the analogy I use is this. If an alien civilization would ask me to explain what a video game is, I would show them Tetris. That's how fundamental I think Tetris actually is as a video game. But I'm actually writing this down, and I'm gonna look up Drop 7 and see if I can play it nowadays or something. Uncharted 2 Among Thieves. These Uncharted games were really, really massive. I haven't played any of them because they're console games. They also had a movie at a certain point, which, if I remember correctly, sucked donkey balls. Though maybe it didn't. But I haven't... It didn't spawn a series, so it didn't have sequels, so I think it was kind of bad. I think there's 3 Uncharteds, maybe. And I remember it being kind of like a more... I don't think if it's a more action. It was just a Tomb Raider, but with a dude, basically. Ico or Ico. Yes, this is something that I have read about. Never played it, but it is, because again, PS exclusive. But I've read a fair bit about it, and it just seems to be a very well thought out and interesting sort of experience. And all of the coverage I've read of it kind of talks about it in those sorts of framing. So definitely, I think Ico or Ico has been on a lot of more recent lists as well. Super Metroid. Again, haven't played any of them. I know they're very appreciated and very dope. Sure, I don't. Again, just because I haven't played it doesn't mean doesn't say anything about the game. I haven't played any of the Demon Souls games either, and I know they're important to many people. Nowadays, people talk a lot. The list feature that Elden Ring game a lot, and I'm not saying the game isn't good. I'm just saying the game is too new to be on top lists of games of all time. Now we're getting close to maybe 5 years of its release, maybe or not. Give me a second. Okay, no, it's only been relatively, it's been 4 years. So after 5 years, you can, if people still talk about it a lot, you can you can sort of have more consideration for it. But again, as I've been saying, it has to be around for 10 years to start the discussion of it being a great game. Demon's Souls, on the other hand, it's been around since at least 2009. Again, since this isn't my genre, I don't know if Demon's Souls was the first one or Dark Souls was the first one. Let me check. So Dark Souls was first released in 2011, and this is 2019. So Demon's Souls was the first one. Okay. Anyway, Souls game. It spawned and sparked the subgenre of Souls games. I call it a subgenre within RPGs. Actually, I would consider it a subgenre within RPGs, but it's also its separate sort of thing to a certain degree. You definitely need one of these, whether it's one of these or it's Bloodborne, which I think I've heard is maybe a bit different, or maybe even Elden Ring, but I still think Elden Ring needs to be at least 5 to, you know, tentatively put it in one of these lists. It definitely needs to be here because, again, this is a genre / subgenre that's been around since at least 2009. So one representative has to exist. Advance Wars, I haven't played this. It's on the GBA, but I've not necessarily read a lot about it, but I've seen some stuff, and everything I've seen and everything I've read is generally positive, and I've seen it mentioned in lots and lots of different sort of places, and it's maybe the type of thing that I would like, because again, it's turn-based tactical game. But since it was on the Game Boy Advance, of course I obviously didn't play it. I would probably possibly emulate it nowadays, of course, but I don't have that big of an incentive to do it, mainly because these types of games have been covered by, you know, specialty channels that do these types of stuff, and my specialty is retro PC games, and yeah, that's what I do, because that's what I know. So first of all, it wouldn't be fair, because I would be talking about something that I don't have a lot of experience with, but at the same time it will also be something popular from a very different niche, and those things almost never do well on my channel. Not to say that what I talk about does well either, almost never does, but it's just that thing. But yeah, this is something that I would probably like to play. Mario Kart 8. At least in this one you get to shoot at your opponents, but again, I come from the PC, so for me it's roll cage basically, and Scars, which I've covered, where you do the same stuff. So yeah. Ultra Street Fighter 4. Now, you wouldn't think this about me, but I've played a lot of Street Fighter 4 on the PC, mind you. Ooh, here's another one that I played actually. I actually played on console as well, so it's the 7th one. But the problem is, as opposed to my friends who had it on console, I would actually practice on PC. And when we would start playing on console, I would beat their asses repeatedly, and they would not want to play the game anymore. So this is more about them than it says about me. That's it. You definitely need the Street Fighter in this list, of course. Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, one of them, or both. Metal Gear Solid V, The Phantom Pain. Never played any of them. I don't plan on playing any of them. If you enjoy it, more power to you. Super Mario World, again, same thing. Sure. I understand great big things. I don't like it that the more we get close to top 10 and the first ones, we get more Marios and Zeldas. But that's just the fucking way of the world, I guess. The US and the console centrism is strong in general. We get some Red Dead Redemption, which made it to PC a few years ago. Finally, I guess. I haven't played it because, again, not the type of thing I play. But I know people enjoy it, so, you know, more power to you. I got... Yeah, if it's too actiony, I'm unlikely to actually play something. It's less likely, basically, for me to play something. Yeah, Jin. Yeah, that's fair enough. Like I have, I've actually stopped buying things from Steam for several years ago, and a lot of my Steam library is actually review keys from indies mostly. Yeah, nowadays if I buy something, it's either from GOG or I just don't buy it, and it is what it is. I have a pretty insane backlog as is, and I don't really need new games. I will buy old games, but even if I stop, and I have stopped over the past year because of finance issues and life issues, I have something like 400 games in my GOG library, not to mention my abandonware and stuff like that. So I'm fine. I don't need... I can make a shit ton of content just based on the things I have, and I still have some stuff on CDs if I need to. But yeah, Red Dead Redemption, sure, if you love it, go for it. I mean, sure, cool. We're just skipping that. Portal. Yes, I know. And before I get the comments, yes, I would probably enjoy playing Portal 1 and 2. Maybe at a certain point I will. I haven't. I know I actually don't want to play them, so we'll see. Maybe in my much, much older age. Bayonetta 2. I don't remember seeing Bayonetta on any of the other lists. Wonder why this is here. It was released in 2014 now, because it was recency bias. That's why it's here. Okay. Look. Long-legged brunette lady with librarian glasses and crazy boobs with gun shoes like that, wearing leather. That ticks lots of boxes. That's what I'm gonna say. Minecraft. Never played it. Never will. But if you do, more power to you. Resident Evil 4, 2005. This must have been, I think this was the refresh, re-release or something. I haven't played any of these, but I know they are a ginormous series within the horror sub-niche, sub-communities. It's this, it's Silent Hill, which I haven't played either. So I know this one especially is appreciated because of a retro gamer issue that was dedicated to it, and that's where I've learned a lot about it. Yeah, sure. I know it's super popular, so that's fine. Oh, another Zelda. Wow, another Mario. Wow. Okay, I gotta give them props. They have Tetris in the top 10. It's on 6. I'm glad it is on the list. The Tetris made it on one other more recent list, which is thankful for that. But like I was saying earlier, that they name dropped Tetris like 3 times, and if it's not, they suck. They don't suck. They suck, but not because of this. It's so pure and simple that it barely qualifies as a video game at all. You're playing it on fine. That's a different discussion. But I said earlier what I think about Tetris, so we don't have to go through that again. Half-Life 2. Oh my god. I have to I need to make a pre-recorded message about me not being impressed by the first Half-Life. I wasn't impressed by the first Half-Life. I played that release. It was cute and fun, but that was just it. Again, it did not impress me really that much. And I was just like, oh, it's a pretty cool game. Nice, you can jump on crates and shit. And then I continued playing Caesar 3 or whatever the fuck I was playing at the time, which was much more interesting to me. It still is much more interesting to me. And I haven't played Half-Life 2 because, again, the first one didn't interest me. So I never understood it. I never understood why it was so massively impactful. I understand it was impactful, but not why. And again, as I was saying much earlier, it doesn't matter. I don't need to understand it. I can just continue my life and turn the page. Ooh, Bloodborne. See, I was talking about Bloodborne earlier. So apparently because from what I understand, Bloodborne is maybe a bit different than the other Souls-like. So maybe it should be here. I'm not sure. Again, I'm not only not a specialist, but I'm not even a casual of the genre. The only Souls-like, no, I'm lying. I played 2 Souls-like games. One of them I actually finished. The most recent one, relatively, is called Mortal Shell, which I quite enjoyed. And a much older one is actually an isometric one called Immortal Planet, which I also enjoyed. So idea is I would probably enjoy these games, but I never really got into them. And it's unlikely I would get into them now because, again, 2010 is my limit. Okay, let's see top 3. The Last of Us. Okay. So this is the girl from the... look, 2013, this series was really big at the time. It was kind of big a couple of years ago because the show, there was a show. It was a PS exclusive, so it should go without saying that I've never played it. I'm not interested in playing it. I don't care really about the story. I don't care about the show. I stopped watching new movies anyway and TV shows. So not only do I not play new games, I don't really watch or consume new media in general. GTA 5, again, this was, even if it was released in 2013, again, it was kind of recent for back then, but GTA 5 was, I think it's still being played. So with hindsight, I get it. Jin, you say was groundbreaking back then regarding the cinematic experience and interaction with objects. Yeah, I get that. I wasn't impressed. I don't know what to tell you. I'm just telling you my experience with it. Like, I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just saying it wasn't for me, man. Oh, they went Dark Souls. Okay, it's interesting. This is interesting. It was released in 2011 because we have Demon Souls, Bloodborne, and Dark Souls. So I don't know why exactly 3 of them, but whatever. Technically, they're different series. As far as I'm concerned, they're the same genre, so it's arguable. But this, the presence of all 3 close to the top, let's say, says more about the zeitgeist of that particular time. And thinking back, in the mid 2010s, this was when talking about when Souls likes were kind of peaking, basically, in as far as they weren't peaking in the sense of what they could do, but in terms of popularity, if I remember correctly. Of course, they still made them after that, and they're still being made and whatever the fuck, but having 3 of them again in the top, I don't know what it was, 30, it says a lot about where the gaming discourse was at the time. Okay, so what have we learned from this top. We've learned that. Well, we've learned that car games apparently there were way more car games than I expected, and I hadn't heard of any of them. So that's one thing we've learned. Although that shouldn't say a lot because I don't play car games, but in general, no sports games. I'm gonna give you that. No sports games, and this is why I made that video about top games ignored by top games. There are no sports games. There are no city building or management games. Nothing. Really, there's nothing. No Settlers, no Annos, no Impressions games, of course not. No Heroes of Might and Magics, no Might and Magics. It has Elite Dangerous, so you can kind of say it has that. It has a space game-ish, but there's no space sims. There's no flight sims either. So again, that's why I made that video, and why I'm working on another one, even if the first video did not set the channel on fire. Because those games, PC exclusive-ish, by the way, completely erased. There's no mention of them. I'm glad that it has Tetris. It has a couple of really classics. It has Tetris. It talks about as Pac-Man. It has Bomberman, which is cool and fine. But none of the things I talked about basically in my video. It has XCOM, but it has the new XCOM. And of course it doesn't have Jagged Alliance 2. It has no, I mean, granted, it has one Civilization game, and that's it. No other hex grid, anything really. So yeah, this is why I make. This is why I do what I do well. Not this fucking Trials Fusion. This isn't really why I do what I do, but it's part of it. Cause there's a lot of stuff that just gets. They didn't even get a mention. But instead, we had, I don't know, 3 or 4 Marios and 3 or 4 Zeldas, as if one of them wasn't sufficient to represent all of them. Yeah, so it is what it is. Oh, and the other thing I learned, is that apparently there is a list from 2007. So I need to see if I can track down that list, because I think that would be even cooler to react to the greatest 100 games from 2007. I'm even more curious to know what that would be like. So I'm gonna try to do that going forward, because that would really be super duper dope. And I think I'm gonna look for some other older, if I can find some other older lists like this one, because again, it's part of what I do, honestly. And who knows, it's always useful. I have some older magazines, Romanian magazines, that I look through sometimes, and they mention titles that either never came out, because it's like, oh, preview, whatever, or titles that I've just completely forgot about, and the world has forgotten about, basically. So it can also be really cool looking into these time capsules to rediscover or discover some things that no one has really talked about at all. Yeah, it should be top 100 games from 2007. Should be really, really interesting. It remains to be seen if I can find it, but yeah. And the idea is to find like a scan of the actual magazine, because like the list, you could probably maybe find it, but it's much more interesting like this. Yeah. Okay, so we've been doing this for like 2 hours and a bit. That's usually how long these things tend to take. I'm gonna hang around for a bit more if any of you have some questions or want to talk about some stuff. But otherwise, if you don't, I will be ending the stream in 3 minutes, basically 2 minutes and a half, because so that it's 2 hours and a half according to me. According to my number, I started a bit earlier and whatnot. So yeah, if you want to ask some stuff, ask it, because otherwise it's late. Okay, Jen, thanks for stopping by. I don't know if I'm gonna stream tomorrow. I usually try to do Friday and Saturday night evenings, but I don't know if I'm gonna do it tomorrow. Friday is usually the more certain time. But yeah, let me write that 2007 list idea down so I can track it. See if I can track it down in that one, because I'm gonna forget. My Fallout mod series? Do I have a Fallout mod series? I don't think I know. I've played I've streamed Sonora and I have a video on it, but I don't have a Fallout mod series. I have a video on modding New Vegas, but I don't have actually a mod series. Maybe I should, but going forward, I have some different sort of plans for upcoming videos. Yeah. I don't wanna, like, I always enjoy talking about Fallout, but I don't wanna turn the channel into exclusively Fallout stuff or even exclusively post-apocalyptic stuff either, because I have a varied amount of interests, even if they are limited, and they're generally CRPGs and strategy stuff. But as you've seen, I will occasionally I have played some other things, and I have pleasant memories about other things like Project IGI or Carmageddon, as I've found with the last couple of streams, which is still fun as hell to play. So I just don't want to lock myself into a particular theme or even genre, even if that would maybe lead to more success, let's say. That is just not how I roll. Well, then I'm sorry for everyone who's logged in, who's came in right about now. This is the end of the stream. But hey, that's what VOD is for. And rest assured, I'm gonna cut up a bunch of these into shorts that will show up later on. I've been Stephen Ansons. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and good luck out there.